is currently January 28th. I've been out of internet, or just the lack of internet, for about 2.5 hours. It's been kind of hard, guys. It's been a difficult task because I've been wanting to do something. I've been wanting to watch VODs from the Call of Duty World League, and I've not been able to, and it's just been an issue for me today. So I thought, you know what a better time. I have some free time. I might as well make a video. There's no internet. I don't need internet to really make a video, to upload it. That's another issue we're probably going to face. But either way, I'm just kidding. I would have made this video either way. But what is up, guys? If you don't know me, my name is Landon. Today, bringing you guys yet again another video. And for today's video, for today's topic of discussion, we are talking about Rush eSports. You might be curious, who is Rush eSports? What other eSports are they in? Well, nothing. They're actually in nothing else but Call of Duty, and they're basically a new organization. Now, the reason why I say it that way, the reason why I say it kind of in a question tone, was the fact that I'm just really surprised by this. I'm very surprised amongst a lot of other people. So let me go back up a little bit. So this information about Rush eSports has been known for maybe a couple weeks at this point. And there's been some people who knew about it. There's some people who didn't. The Rush Call of Duty World League Twitter kind of got leaked. I don't know if it was on Reddit or not, but I followed it very early on once I saw it, and I realized that was the new question mark team. Question mark was going to be picked up by Rush. I'll get to that in just a second. But basically, Rush is a very new organization from what I hear. They're trying to branch out to do a number of different things, kind of like be, in my eyes, like just a fully functional org that also has a Call of Duty team. I think is that what they're trying to do. They're trying to expand in other esports, but as far as we know, their like official debut was technically like yesterday. Like they haven't really done anything except for being announced the other day. And the reason why I wanted to make this video, because I could have done it whenever it was announced the other day, but I decided not to. I wanted to see what the record would be like, how they're performing, and so I could give a little bit of a background on their roster, because this team was previously known as Question Mark, and I say the word question mark because no one actually knew who they were. They were known under the name of Question Mark if you haven't been watching the Call of Duty World League or have been following the scene too much. But so they were, like I said, under the name of Question Mark. There were rumors that they were going to be under the name of TSM. There were rumors about them joining Liquid. There were rumors about them joining Winter Fox, and there was just many rumors flying around that technically in some ways were true. I'm not gonna like say like, oh, you know, this one was true, because I don't really know specifics, but I know that they did deny a couple things, and that they wanted this org specifically to be under a separate name. Proofy, in some ways, obviously, is the captain, I believe, of this squad. I don't really know who else would be. I'm pretty sure he is. And I think this is like his way of stepping in, because for those who don't know, Rush basically is like one of Proofy's projects in a sense. So he's kind of like a main figurehead. I don't like know what the exact definition would be, but he's like a major person in Rush. He basically kind of owns in some ways this org, and I don't think that he really wanted to get involved with any big orgs to make sure that his vision would be blurred, if that makes any sense. And that's what I've taken from it. We don't really know too much information about Rush besides the fact that they are a very new Call of Duty organization ran by Proofy and some other people. I'm not really sure who else is involved. And the roster, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, obviously is Proofy, Coldchan, Pac-Man, and Wheats. So obviously how this team kind of formed together, Proofy was previously on Luminosity Gaming for the LAN qualifiers, in which they failed to really do very well. Saints left E6, Saints joined in place of Proofy. Proofy was kind of a free agent for a while, ended up joining alongside Pac-Man and Wheats, who were released or dropped from Orbit. Orbit kind of just like got rid of their whole roster, so I'm not sure if it was Pac-Man and Wheats who left, or if it was Orbit kind of just throwing out their entire team. So that's where those two guys came from, and also Coldchan, coming from Happy Hour, also was one of the teams who did not end up qualifying. Coldchan played alongside of like Burnsoff, I think like Anticity and Tipsy, if that's correct. I'm pretty sure it's correct. But either way, this is a pretty good team for the most part. I can kind of go over the matches that they've played a little bit and currently give their standings. I don't have online like computer internet. I have to use my phone, which isn't an issue, but I'm just, I usually have like a screen popped up where I can look at things, like look at a record, so I make sure that my facts are correct and stuff like that. Or I guess if they weren't, they're not technically facts if I don't know they're correct. I don't know. I usually have like a web page open, and so I had to go on my phone and check. So I was looking at their game from yesterday, and they actually beat H2K in a 3-0, which kind of surprised me. Now, I'm not sure about hosting and stuff. Obviously, host does play a major factor, but you know, Rush currently is sitting in the league at 3-3, so they're kind of sitting in that 7th spot right now, which is, I mean, not where you're not comfortable in 7th spot, obviously, because, you know, being in 9th is where you're kind of like limiting yourself. Like only the top 8 guarantee themselves for stage 2, and the bottom 4 get relegated. So I mean, they're in a pretty good spot. I mean, as far as Rush goes, I think they're a fairly talented team. I mean, beating H2K in a hard point by itself is already impressive. I think as far as early matches go, I think they've had really impressive games against the likes of, I believe, was it Cole that they played against? I know they beat LG, which was surprising to me. I think in week 2. They ended up winning that one. I think that went to game 5, and they ended up winning that, which kind of surprised me. That was like one of the only predictions that I got wrong, because I was thinking, question mark, they'll probably be like a bottom 4 team after we kind of saw how they would play. But obviously, it wasn't the case. You know, they're a pretty talented roster for the most part. You know, Proofy is very dominant. You know, an AR player as well. Scythe, he runs that Scythe. Also, Vision Pulse kind of sets his team up in other game types for a lot of success. Cold Chain is an absolute destroyer. We've seen some insane games from Cold Chain. You know, in Search and Destroy, when it comes to uplink, hardpoint, I mean, there's been times where he was really the only player who was doing well for his squad, regardless if they won or lost, but he was always the player that's doing well, and I don't really know how to compare him to another player, but he's just an absolute, like, destroyer. I don't know what to say about him. He's just very good. When it comes to Pac-Man and Wheats, I haven't really been able to watch a crazy amount. I think Pac-Man's been playing fairly consistently, and Wheats has also been destroying, you know, one of those heat wave players, likes to kind of rush into the hill, kind of like an entry killer, entry fragger. I know that's not a Call of Duty term, but I like to use it anyway. You know, when it comes to entering into hard points, just very, very good at that, kind of similar to a player like Burnsoff in a sense is how Wheats plays. More of an SMG type of style, and that's really, I mean, they're a pretty good team. They're a middle of the pack roster, to be honest with you, and also kind of reiterating what I talked about with the roster changes. I know that with the organizations, a lot of the organizations wanted them to make roster changes. I believe that's probably a little bit why they were deterred by wanting to join those organizations. Because for those who don't know, for those who do know, I'm just saying what you already know, but when big organizations enter into a scene, they want to, most of the time, in most cases, obviously, especially for Call of Duty, due to the fact of how smaller, I guess you could say it is right now. But what they want is they want known players. They either want, okay, let's say this. They either want known players, they want players who are in a good position right now, so the Call of Duty World League, any of those top 12 teams can be easily offered by some of the biggest organizations that are already involved right now. And I guarantee that, like I said, question mark at the time was the name, were offered many times, and I don't think that they really wanted to kind of suffice to that. So, you know, major props to obviously Proofy, major props to this roster for getting picked up and being under the name of Rush. I wish them success, I wish them luck, because, I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult. They're going to have to bring it back. They seem to be very talented when it comes to Game 5 Search and Destroys. Pretty solid roster for the most part. And like I said, that match yesterday versus H2K really surprised me. The fact that it was a 3-0, if it was a 3-2, that probably would have surprised me a little bit more because of the fact of how good that H2K is at Search and Destroy. But either way, you know, Rush just looking pretty good right now. They're kind of similar to me, like how TK is working. We saw TK have a fantastic showing yesterday, actually beating FaZe. We also saw DT beating Optic. Like, what was that about? I mean, internet obviously plays a factor, but still, that was just absolutely absurd. And you know, this roster, Rush, beating H2K was kind of overshadowed by that, but still very impressive and you know, kind of very surprising as well. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this new Rush roster. What do you guys think about the new organization? Your thoughts on where it is going, and the fact that they are not picked up by you know, the TSMs of the world, the Winter Foxes, and so on and so forth. I think like Team Liquid might have been involved with that as well before they picked up the roster. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this new roster. Do you guys think that they could be a middle of the pack team, or what do you guys think they're going to place overall as we kind of transgress on through the Call of Duty World League? You know, coming up, I believe week 4 is coming up next week. We'll have a a preview for you guys coming up as well, and obviously we'll be talking about Rush. So guys, like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Rush, just in general, their roster, their placings right now, how they're doing, and so on and so forth. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like as well, and that's really going to do it. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace out.